Hi everyone, this is Meg Sharp, personal trainer, real human being and mother of two. And I'm here to continue the conversation about how to get ready to get back into the gym. And we know that for many of us, sitting too long and then just simply life and Mother Nature has created in us specific muscular patterns where we are overly tight, overactive, and even over strong in certain areas where we're inhibited and weaker in others. And of course, we can try and do lots of mobility, stretching, flexibility work to try and disinhibit or lengthen, relax those tight muscular patterns. But really those tight muscular patterns are trying to keep us stable. They are trying to give us strong, trying to give us a fixed point from which we can move off of and perform and be stable and play. If we don't give our body a different option, a different strength pattern, then it's just going to continue to go back to what it's used to. So if it's used to being strong in the upper traps and used to being strong through the hip flexors, and we don't give it another option, which would be to be stronger through the middle of the back, to be stronger through the glutes and the abdominal area, then we're going to continue to keep eliciting those tension-based patterns that are just very, very common through so many of us. So I'm going to take us through a few simple movements. We're going to try and create some length through the tighter areas, and then either simultaneously or right afterwards activate some of those muscles that tend to be a little bit weaker and a little bit sleepier. So I'd like to start with the head. So that head position, we know that our heads are super heavy and they tend to be craning forward an awful lot. And so what we want to try and do is get the head back into a position where it's almost floating over that spine. We want that spine to be nice and long with loads and loads of space in it. An important thing when we're doing any kind of mobility and stability work, however, is our breathing. So I think I just said I was going to start with the head, and I'm in fact not going to start with our breathing. We want to try and elicit some activation and eccentric loading, if you will, of the pelvic floor. So deep belly diaphragmatic breathing where the entire rib cage expands and contracts. We eccentrically load through the pelvic floor because it's natural to have tension in our abdominals, in our core when we're exhaling and we're tightening everything up, but we also want to ensure that we're creating tension when we eccentrically load through our abdominal, when things are expanding. Almost, if you will, like filling a sail. When we fill a sail, it is large and powerful, right? The wind is captured in that sail and it can push and move the boat forward. We also want to be able to have a strong sail through the bottom of our pelvic floor all the way around our abdomen so that when we inhale, we can also be bracing and nice and strong. So I'm going to start just down on my back. I'm going to take 10 nice deep breaths in, going down on my back so I can be aware of my low back and the back of my ribs, because sometimes when we're breathing, all we're really focused on is the front. We tend to breathe a little bit too much through the chest, and I want to really try and activate through this whole abdominal, get my entire rib cage going. I'm going to put my hands down on the lower part of my abdomen and take a nice deep breath in. Feel my rib cage and my lower belly expand, and then I'm going to exhale and imagine that sail or that pelvic floor tightening, moving up, tightening all around and through my ribs, and then take another deep breath in, rib cage all around, all fixed points. Like I've got a great big barrel through my chest and my abs, and then I'm going to exhale down again. Squeezing all the air out of me, nice, steady and strong. Again, I'm going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, expand, and exhale. Wring out a towel between my ribs, tighten through my intercostals, and then again, take a nice deep breath in, breathe in, and my pelvis is staying relatively still here. But I am starting to feel my low back sort of touch down into the ground and my ribs expand a little bit more as I gain a little more breath, a little more range. I'm going to go one more time, nice deep breath in, shoulders stay down, chest and belly expand, back of the back expands as well, and exhale. I'm going to transition up onto my knees. I'm going to work on warming up through my rib cage a little bit more. My rib cage tends to be a little bit stuck. I'm going to come down. I'm going to keep my hips in a nice fixed position here. Drop my chin down. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in.
I'm going to exhale and rotate to one side, and then I'm going to hold and stay here. Deep breath in all the way around. Exhale, rotate a little bit further. Take another nice deep breath in, and exhale, go a little bit further. So this continues to warm up my breathing. It's also creating a little isometric contraction through my abdomen, through my ribs, through my serratus anterior, as I rotate a little bit and create some tension and rotational power through my front to try and reduce the tension through my back. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Take a nice deep breath in, rotate this way and stay. Keep the hips nice, steady and strong. I don't want any undue pain or tension going into the low back. Exhale, rotate a little further. So I'm creating tension through my abdominal, through my obliques, internal and external obliques, and through my serratus anterior to control that rotation, unstick the ribs a little and start to give me a bit more breathing power. Exhale, rotate a tiny bit further and come back. Okay, great. Now we were talking about the head. So my head, of course, is very heavy, tends to be forward leaning, and I want to try and encourage it to come back. This is not a very flattering exercise, so I'm going to put my ego and my pride into my pocket because I'm going to create some serious quadruple chins here. So what we're going to do is keeping those shoulders down and back to the best of your ability. And of course we could do mobility for the shoulders first and all that groovy stuff, but I want to keep this relatively practical, short and doable for you. So we're going to glide the chin forward a little bit. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, glide back, and then keeping the chin tucked, you're going to look up towards the ceiling, keeping the chin tucked. And take a nice deep breath in, glide forward. Exhale, glide back. And look up towards the ceiling. So I'm trying to transition and slide those vertebrae. Deep breath in. Exhale, glide back. Chin tuck. Keep the shoulders down and back. Look up. And then nice isometric contraction through those neck muscles through the back that are going to help hold my head in that better centric position. We're going to do two more. So as we're encouraging that better, more centrated position, we're also going to be thinking about holding our head in this position as we lengthen. And some of our floor work, we're going to continue to activate those muscles through the back of the neck. Again, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, tuck. And relax. Fantastic. Good. Okay. And now let's come back into the shoulders. So I'm going to get you to take a deep breath in, press your shoulders back, press the hands behind you, and hold a nice isometric contraction here. So you're pushing your hands behind you, opening up through the chest and shoulders. Do that again. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale. Push the hands back. Great. And again, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, push the hands back. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. I'm going to keep the hands behind me now, and this time when I exhale, I'm going to push the hands up and behind, reaching back. So I'm eccentrically loading through the muscles in the chest, also stretching them, but really squeezing through the muscles through the back. Now take a nice deep breath in, and I want you to hip hinge forward. So the first thing we're going to do is externally rotate through the femur. So I am almost imagining I'm opening pickle jars, so I'm grinding my feet into the floor like this. So I grind the feet into the floor, I externally rotate, I open up at the hips, and then I hip hinge down. I feel loads of activation through my glutes, and a really nice juicy stretch through the hamstrings. Come back up, do that again, hip hinge forward, and now I'm also, as I exhale, I'm going to lift the hands up towards the ceiling. Whoop, nice and long through that neck. Let's reestablish that neck position. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, hip hinge back. Reach the hands up to the ceiling. Open up through that chest. And again, take a nice deep breath in. Push those hips back. Reach the hands up. And hold that stretch. Good. So just trying to encourage that more neutral pelvis. Trying to stretch through the hamstrings as well as open up through the back and activate through that neutral neck position. We're going to do one more time. Hip hinge forward, reach the arms up, and relax down. Okay, the next pattern we're going to go into is starting to activate through the glutes and open up through the hip flexors. So down on one knee, I'm going to stretch and open up through the hip flexor by flexing through my glutes and abs, right? So we know one of those patterns was tight hip flexor, but not enough tension through the abdominals and the glutes. So we're going to tackle all three all at once. This ideally should also lengthen through that low back. I'm also going to stretch a little bit more through that psoas muscle because it is a lateral side bender by starting to bend a little bit to the side as I exhale. And then I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to tuck that hip under, activate through the abs and the glutes, side bend, stretch a little bit through that low back, and right into that deep hip flexor muscle. Take another nice deep breath in. Exhale, drive the hips up and under. Gentle side bend as I continue to exhale. We're going to do two more. So we are in effect loading this as we are doing this mobility work, and then we're going to come up and load it even more. And take another nice deep breath in, and exhale, tuck. Fantastic, relax. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So come right here. I'm going to turn this one to the front so you can see that side bend a little bit more. So my hips are nice and square. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. I'm going to exhale, tuck that hip and glute under, activate through the abdominals and side bend to the side. Feeling that stretch go quite a bit more through that rectus femoris and right into that deep psoas muscle, that hip flexor. And again, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the glutes under, draw that nice strong rib to hip connection, and then side bend over. Good, great, nice little lateral bend there. Two more times, nice deep, 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 deep breath in. In through the nose, out through the mouth, flex through the glutes. Tighten the abdominals, keep the hips nice and square. Continue to flex that hip under. And we'll go one more time, nice deep breath in. And exhale, drive the hip under, take that arm off to the side. Fantastic. And then the best way of loading this is to simply go into a stationary split squat, working on activating that repositioning and really eccentrically loading through the hamstring, through the hip flexor. So I'm going to take the back leg back. I'm going to take the left leg back again to start with. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. I'm going to draw the hips under and drop down into that split squat. My knee is coming close to the ground if that feels good, but I really am just holding that concentric activation through the glute, that eccentric loading of that hip flexor. Take a nice deep breath in. Again, come down and I can come up through the shoulders, nice and long through the neck. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Go again. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the hips up and under, flex through the glute on that back leg, eccentrically load, so I'm lengthening through the hip flexor, encouraging it to be long, and encouraging my glutes and abs to help me hang on to that position. So the glutes and abs are really contributing to the stability in this position down here. And again, nice deep breath in, and come down and hold for 3, 2, 1. And you could do 3 sets of anywhere between 8 to 16 of these. You want to take a break in between them as you start to get tired so that the integrity of the movement is really nice and strong. And by strong, I mean that you're really ensuring that you're activating through the muscles that you want to be activating through, right? So here we go again on this side. So again, take a nice deep breath in. And we're going to work on tucking that pelvis under, dropping that knee down as we continue to stretch through the muscles through our psoas, through that rectus femoris, activating through the glutes, through the abs. And again, take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Draw the hips under. We can again add the shoulders, pushing those thumbs back gently, nice and long through the neck. Nice deep breath in and exhale. Drive the hips up and under, shorten through the abdomen, Shorten and flex through the glute muscle, but lengthen through the front of that thigh. And again, come down, exhale, shoulders away from the ears. Push the fingers behind you a little bit, neck nice and long. We'll do 2 more in this position. Exhale. Good. And then let's go one more time. Draw the hip under. And exhale and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And then let's come right down, back down onto our knees. So I love being onto our knees here because we can continue to drive the hips under, really work on that active hip activation, that glute activation, and staying nice and strong through the core. We're going to work on dropping the shoulders down and back, so really working on depression of the scapula, of the shoulder blades, which tend to be elevated and winging out. So we want to try and get them to drop down, wing back in, and create some length through the upper traps by activating through the rhomboids and through the mid and lower traps. Now, interesting, the minute we do that, as we start to activate and drop the shoulder blades down and together, the tendency is going to be to go back into that anterior pelvic tilt, which is why I liked starting with the legs and the breathing first. So as my shoulder blades drop down my back, my pelvis is going to tend to go back into that anterior tuck, right? So I want you to override that. We're going to go off of our knees if possible by driving the hips up and under, continuing to keep those nice tight abdominals, tight glutes. So as we're working on what I did refer to as addressing that upper cross syndrome, we are at the same time creating stability and avoiding that lower cross syndrome. So we'll start this one from the side view. You'll take a nice deep breath in. Let's start by activating through the glutes, externally rotating through those thighs. Again, nice deep breath in. And then I draw the shoulders down first, pull them apart, pull the band gently apart and pull towards my sternum. And then I squeeze, hold, driving the elbows behind me, squeezing the triceps together, and really drawing those shoulders down and back. Again, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, squeeze the glutes, drop the shoulders, pull the band apart, pull down, squeeze, hold right here for 3, 2, 1, and keep going. Again, take a nice deep breath in, squeeze the glutes, drop the shoulder blades down, pull and hold, squeeze those triceps together, lengthen through that neck, float the head on top of your head, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And let's do that again. Nice deep breath in. Drop the shoulder blades down. Drive the hips up and under. Gently pull the band apart. Pull down to your sternum and hold. Hold there. Keep holding for 3, 2, 1. And let's do this 2 more times. So again, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, drive the hips under. Drop the shoulders down. Pull the band a little bit apart. Come down towards your sternum. Flex through the back of the shoulder, hold for 3, 2, 1, and then one more time, nice deep breath in, and exhale, drive the hips under, flex through the abs, drop the shoulders down, pull the band apart, pull the band just below your chin towards your sternum, squeeze those shoulder blades, rotate them down and back, squeeze the elbows together, open up the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Terrific. Now, I hope you found some of those movements quite difficult. We're trying to do a whole lot there, trying to open up again through the areas where we're tight, and then also eccentrically load some of the areas that are tight. So teach them to be strong and long at the same time. Allow them to lengthen while the other tissues can also shorten, become stronger, become much more powerful. I want you to remember that the most powerful strength comes from your brain. It's neuromuscular in nature, so that you can spend the next few months really starting to change that patterning, Wake up the muscles through your glutes, through your abs, through the middle of your back,
the muscles that pull your shoulders down and back and your shoulder blades down and back towards your spine. Start to allow and encourage the low back, the quadriceps, the hamstrings to be able to let go a little bit more so that some of those sleepy muscles can get stronger. Really, really important to try and regain some strength through those weaker areas before we get back into the gym. So it's a perfect time to do it because it's only months away, right? Thank you so much for joining me from my home to yours.